After a day full of criticism, Nick Sirianni decides to apologize to Eagle fans for his actions, but were they warranted at all? Wait till you hear a nugget from this past offseason of what Jeff Lurie had to say regarding Nick's demeanor and how it could affect the team. Also, beyond that, how does this Eagles team get better? We don't believe they can sustain this success playing the way they are, but this concerning stat from yesterday tells more of the story and shows why the offense is really struggling. We will get into it all, but welcome into A to Z Philly. I'm RB. Be sure to like the show and subscribe to our channel down below. Help us get to 6K subscribers. But I want to start with the NFC East. Here are the updated standings through week 6. Despite how bad the Eagles have looked, despite how poor they have played, they're at 3-2. And if you want a beam of light, you still have a shot to really turn this thing around and make things right and still win the division, right? The Commanders lost yesterday, still a good team. Cowboys are absolutely terrible. They are depleted, and they got smacked around by the Detroit Lions, and the Giants are the Giants. So, honestly, the Eagles, if they can correct things, still have a chance to really go out there and dominate this division. We'll see what happens. But speaking of the Eagles themselves, they need to get healthy because they're banged up again. They come back from the bye week, and boom, they get hit with multiple injuries. I will say, no updates on Darius Slay, no updates on Dallas Goedert, but we did get an update about Jordan Mailata, and apparently he's expected to miss several weeks with his hamstring injury, and he's having an MRI to determine the severity of the injury. And then Nick Sirianni spoke to the media a little while ago. We'll surely get into his comments, but regarding Mailata's injury, he says Mekhi Becton could potentially move to left tackle. Quote, everything is on the table, and in that case, Tyler Steen would then come in and play right guard. I've loved the way Mekhi Becton has come into Stoughton University and held his own at the guard position. Will he be able to sustain success at left tackle? I don't know. It's a little bit risky, but they do have a couple different options, so we'll see what they do this week. However, they need to get healthy. They need Dallas Goedert back too, and Darius Slay. So we'll see what happens there. But let's talk about Nick Sirianni, because he comes out and after I would say 12-hour window of just getting pummeled with criticism, he apologizes. Here's what he says. He's, quote, sorry and disappointed about how his energy was directed at the end of the game toward fans. He said he was trying to bring energy during the game. Now, Nick Sirianni's done this before. You know, last year against the Chiefs, he was flipping off somebody on the other sideline, and Jalen had to tell him to, chill, relax, right? He was talking smack. He's done this against the Niners. He's done this before. So I appreciate and I respect his apology, but we still don't know, right? He's still a little bit off the leash. We don't know what Nick's going to do from week to week, and I'm still more concerned about what he's doing on the football field. Some of the answers yesterday were puzzling. People are pissed that he brought his kids up to the podium. He needs to not deflect blame, take accountability, and actually make the team better. I feel like every week someone from this team, usually Nick Sirianni, comes out and they talk in circles and they talk to make things sound so promising and amazing and hopeful, and then they do the same things. And I said that before the bye week, and that's the most frustrating part. Again, they had 2 weeks to sit down and really take some corrective action on what they're doing. Well, according to the report, and this came out from NBC Philly yesterday, Ashlyn Sullivan, Nick Sirianni during the bye week did something unorthodox. He actually flipped the script, and he requested that players come into him and give him insight and feedback on what the team is doing wrong. Yeah, that's serious. They did not watch film and tell the players, but they were doing. Saquon, Jalen, other guys were coming into his office and telling them things that they thought could be corrected. Now, that could either go really good or it could go really bad. I'm a little concerned that the players are the ones giving the instructions. Somebody said to me today, is the coach coaching the players or the players coaching the coach? And I'm like, I don't know. I said yesterday, what does Nick do? What does he do? Because there's no enforcement. The guys go out there on without a leash, on a free rein. They do what they want. They just have fun and just do their thing. And there's nothing to keep them in line. And it's starting to make a lot of sense. So they need to correct these things right now. But listen to what Jeffrey Lurie said back in March about Nick Sirianni and his sideline demeanor. Quote, I think, first of all, one of the aspects that makes Nick really good is he's authentic. He doesn't hold back. That can also be a negative at times. On the sideline, you don't want to infuriate the referees. I always worry about, I want the referees to give us a fair shake, so I don't want him to overreact, but I love his passion. So I think he recognizes that it can be a little bit counterproductive if he overdoes his own passion, but you don't want to stop where that passion is coming from. So you got to find a sweet spot. I think he wants to find a sweet spot of what's that's like. I love his passion though. So Jeff Lurie's pretty much saying, show the emotion, be yourself, but don't take it overboard like you did yesterday. And Eagle Nation, let me know down below. Do you think Jeffrey Lurie sat down with Nick today and told him, you better apologize, you better fix this? I wouldn't be surprised if he did, because that was quite frankly embarrassing. And you're coming at the fans. And I actually want to respond to a few things I'm seeing over and over again consistently, and just kind of outline why I don't believe they are true from some of the fans today and the comments and things like that. But here's some of the criticism that Nick received today. Joe Giglio on the Midday Show says, if I'm Jeff Lurie, I'm calling Nick to my office today and giving him an ultimatum. Apologize to the fan base or pack your office up and leave. I don't think Jeff would do that. That's a little bit harsh, but I agree. You have to hold yourself in a certain way as the coach and the leader of this football team. Nick did not do that yesterday, and this cannot be a repeatable thing. Otherwise, it's going to bleed again into the team, which it may have already have, and it's not going to turn out well in the long term. Damian Woody on ESPN called Nick Sirianni clown behavior. Nick looked like an absolute clown doing all of that. Then to have your kids in the postgame to kind of deflect from reporters trying to come after you, it's lame, it's weak, he's a clown. Then you have Seth Joyner, who said, when you look at this offense, it's becoming more and more clear that this is not Kellen Moore's offense. That's what I said yesterday. Nick Sirianni has got more of his hands on this than anything. There's no creativity to what we do. Yeah, I'd have to agree. I would have to agree. This offense is very stale, vanilla. I thought they would fix things during the bye, but it is still frustrating that they come out and can only muster 20 points against one of the worst teams in the league. See what happens, but I think Lane summed it up perfectly. He says, we're a constipated offense. We're definitely frustrated as far as talent. This is one of the more loaded offenses I've been a part of, but we still have to go prove it. Yeah, everything's stuck. Everything is stuck. They haven't gotten it well oiled yet. It's not going. It needs to go. People are saying, give it time. Well, hope you're right. Hope you're right. But I want to address a couple things real quick that I have been seeing in the comments that are really just off the radar for me, and they're just off track. Number one, I'm seeing people say, well, a win's a win, forget about it, they won. My response to that would be, what happened last year, right? They were winning, and this was actually against good teams, the Chiefs, the Bills, etc. I was guilty of it too, right? 10-1, but they were winning week 6, week 7, week 8. Hey, let's ignore the shortcomings. Let's ignore the weaknesses. They're still winning, right? They're getting the job done. How did that work out for us? Bit us in the butt. Team imploded, lost 6 of their last 7. The worst collapse in NFL history. So no, I'm not going to be happy-go-lucky that they won a game, by the way, against the worst team in the NFL. No, I'm not just going to take that. They need to pick it up, and they need to play better. And they are coming into the season as a Super Bowl contender, right? Not an 8-win team. We, as the fans, need to demand greatness. Maybe it'll come together later in the season, but they have shown no inclination of doing that yet. So yes, Eagle fans are frustrated, and that takes me to my second point. People are saying, oh, well, the fans are giving it to Nick. They should be able to turn around and take it, right? Nick should be able to say his talk to the fans as well. I agree partially. Nick should be able to show emotion. Like Jeff said, he's authentic, he's himself. But here's the difference. The fans, the regular people with 9-to-5 jobs that are just paying their hard-earned money to go watch these games and support, right? Those people are not on the same level as Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni is a damn head coach. Nick Sirianni is a leader of grown men, and this is in the job description. You know what it is when you sign up. It's not always fair, but it's what you have to accept, especially in a tough city like Philadelphia, who is very, very passionate, and you know what they do. At the end of the day, they just want to support, and they want to let it be known when you're playing well, when you're not playing well, but at the end of the day, they have your backs no matter what. So no, Nick Sirianni is not the same. He should be able to show emotion, but drawing back, especially after you beat the worst freaking team in the league. It's not like they just won the first round of the playoffs. You barely squeaked by an awful team coming out of the bye week when you should have been more prepared. I want this team to be successful as anybody else, but we got to keep it real, man. They are coming in as a Super Bowl contender this year, and right now they are not playing anything close to it. Now, Dave Zangaro says that Jim Schwartz wanted to heat up Jalen Hurts yesterday. Hurts was blitzed on a season-high 53.6% of dropbacks against the Browns per next gen. and he was 6 for 12 with 105 yards and both TDs against the blitz. Shout out to Jalen Hurts for not turning the ball over, especially in a crucial situation. Got to build on that moving forward. I expected it against the Browns, being that they're not that good, but now he's got to use this to build on it and make this more of a consistent thing. That's really a good word to describe what we need to see. Consistency. They can't come out, play flawless against the Saints on defense, and then get whooped by the Bucs, right? And then they go back to playing good. It's just too imbalanced. It's too inconsistent. Jalen Hurts had a really good game yesterday. He needs to build on top of that. And here's the more concerning thing. As good as Jalen was, what's the playbook? Like Seth Joyner said, is this Nick Sirianni's offense? Look at this passing chart against the Cleveland Browns. Fair to point out Jim Schwartz's scheme employs mostly single high shells and pressure looks, which plays into this. But look at the middle of the field, man. What are we going to call this? 2, maybe 3, 4 targets the whole game in the middle of the field? Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Throw the ball over the middle of the field. I've been saying this weeks upon weeks upon weeks. Let AJ, let Devontae catch and run with the ball. Every pass, you start the game 0 for 5. Every pass doesn't have to be 35 yards down the sideline. Use the middle of the field. I know Goddard went out, but come on, man. You have to keep these defenses off balance. You have to keep it unpredictable. And every time the Eagles use the middle of the field, this is just common football knowledge. Use the middle of the field, open things up. Come on, man. It's hard for me to believe that this is Kellen Moore's offense right now. But you give me your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think. As always, appreciate everybody for tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. How do you feel about Nick Sirianni right now and the Eagles as a whole? Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let me know all your thoughts down below, and I will catch you on the next one.
Tap into BetMGM Casino, and you're entering a huge library full of exclusive games. Games you won't find anywhere else. Looking for jackpots? Right this way. You'll always find someone ready to give you a hand. Or some dice. Your favorite game is waiting for you. On BetMGM Casino.